And if there's any confusion about the starting lineups, there they are, going to be scrolling across the top of your screen, brought to you by the Hawaiian Tel Federal Credit Union, your starting lineups. And we are set to go, and Joe B. Ramos once again, the setter, starts this match off with a service air into the net. Max Wekshang was pretty much the setter until he hurt his shoulder. That was back prior to that UCLA match, and he's pretty much been well, sparsely, if ever, used since.
He's starting to play a little bit more in practice. And, he played the other day, actually, and looked pretty sharp and looked pretty good in warm-ups tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in if Joby struggles at all.
Just underway, Hawaii and Pepperdine, a couple of teams that have played a lot of volleyball against one another. And J.P. Marks with a good serve, good pass. The dig, and a kill by J.P. Marks. Oh, that's a nice way to pick up a kill.
That's what you call a dig kill right there. J.P. will take it any way he can get it. He was in the right spot. Block couldn't get to it. Nice hole in the block. He stepped right into that hole in the block and popped up the dig.
J.P. Marks hitting, or averaging 3.7 kills per game for Hawaii. And that one, another perfectly placed ball, the service ace, and Hawaii out quickly to a 3-1 advantage.
So Hawaii's got a couple of jump servers who can really light it up. J.P. Marks is one of them. Brooks Sador is another one. And he's in the starting lineup tonight, so we'll see more of him rather than just once a game as a serving specialist.
Marks again with a good serve. Good pass in the back row by Josh Taylor out of Punahou. Set, and here comes Brooks Sador with the soft touch. Good idea, but dug up back there by West. Marks again with a dig, but the overpass, and putting it down is Maurice Torres, who averages nearly 4 kills per game for the Waves.
It was a good dig up by JP, but just too much over the net and over dig like that. Last time he got a kill on it. That's not going to happen every time. You got to keep those digs on your own side of the net.
Torres, who gets the kill, follows it up with the serve, and he puts it out. And the service error gives Hawaii the side out at a 4-2 advantage.
Torres is the man to watch tonight for Pepperdine. He's a returning All-American, his first team All-MPSF. He is from a Fab 50 player.
Look at that ball, just literally walked over the top cable. West didn't get a very good piece of that. Flying out of the back row, good high hands by Hawaii, blocks it, sets up the center. West again unable to put it down. Back set, Torres off the block, and that is out. And Maurice Torres picks up another kill, Pepperdine within 1.
Torres so strong from that right side. He's in the top 10 in kills all time for Pepperdine. Here's a final that's interesting. Irvine over Long Beach State, 15-13 in the 5th.
And another good swing, that time by Josh Taylor, the sophomore out of Honolulu, who was an all-MPSF freshman. We talked about him in the pregame show, and as Chris said, a player that could have gone anywhere. Chose to play for the Waves, and back here in Honolulu, leading his team. You see his numbers for the season. Good pass to the far side. Siki unable to put it down. Opportunity for the Waves. Again, the little left-handed slap by Taylor. Marks out of the back row, and he is blocked big time. And that was Josh Taylor right there in the middle of it all.
Well, not only is Pepperdine #1 in kill percentage in the league, hitting .369, but they're also #1 in blocks. With blocks like that, they average 3.3 blocks per set.
3 straight points for the Waves. They lead at 5-4. Sador goes cross court and in point Hawaii.
Brooks Sador is loving starting tonight. He's been, that once every half-hour server so far this season and much of last season. Now he's getting a very important start.
And you see his numbers and an opportunity to bring those up, averaging barely 1 kill per game and hitting under 100 for the season. Look at Marks. Marks slapped it. Joby slapped it back, and Marks just tried to muscle it over the net, didn't have enough fist on it. Kind of an awkward play all the way around for Hawaii.
Tough to play volleyball successfully when you're playing at 6 inches off the ground.
Exactly. Marks with the pass. Out of the back row, Sador tries to go over the double block. Dug up. And then Taylor hammers it right at Sador for the winner.
Well, as is typical of homegrown players who come back home and play for the first time, they tend to play better. And Taylor with 2 big blocks so far. A nice little cutback shot down the line there. He's playing flawlessly thus far.
That ball floated out and long, so the service error by Parker Kalmbach. Yeah, Josh Taylor has all the tools and has the height to go with it. 6 feet 7 inches tall. As you get a look at Siki Sarkovic back there. And a freshman out of Belgrade, Serbia. And he puts it in there. That's the second time. Well, the only mistakes that Josh Taylor has made are just twice he's watched the ball land in for service aces. So there are more errors of omission than commission.
I would agree. And by the way, I thought both those balls were out too. I would have not taken them either. Josh made a good move.
That'd have been tough for him to even try to go over and pass it up. Oh, another good swing by Torres. Came into this match hitting .337 on the season.
Played in the USA junior national teams, their youth national team. Last year, he's number 8 in the NC2A in kills percent with 4. So he can really bring the heat.
Marks off the block, that lands out. And Marks gets another kill. JP with the good arm. You talked about the fact that Mara Dunphy says, I like the arms of this Hawaii team. And
he's one of them. JP's is one of them, definitely.
Absolutely. You know, Jace Olsen, who we saw early and often in this season. And, you know, again, another player trying to work himself back into the rotation. Nice job of getting that ball up. Sador unable to get it off the block. Lands out, point Pepperdine, and they're up 9-8.
Sador got a nice touch on it. Let's see if Hawaii's going to take advantage of the smallest blocker for Pepperdine, Kyle Gerrans. He's only 6'1". See if they're going to attack him right now. He's on the left.
There's Sador. Sador goes right at the back row and hits it long.
And he was aiming for Gerrans as well.
Yep.
So Joby Ramos was following, I think, the strategy from the coaching staff is pick on the smallest blocker if you can find him.
Pretty interesting combo of Gerrans, an outside hitter slash libero. Good pass by Marks. Sador again goes at Gerrans, and this time manages to put it off his wrist. Ricochets out, point Hawaii.
Good set by Ramos, going right back to Sador. Even though Sador hit the last one out, he knows that Sador has got that good line shot that's going to take advantage of Pepperdine's smallest blocker.
And Joby Ramos, the junior out of Honolulu, by way of the University of Pacific.
What an amazing story Joby Ramos has been. You know, go to Pacific for 2 years, mostly as a back row specialist, serving specialist, and all of a sudden he's thrown into the UCLA match in the last night of the Outrigger Hotels Classic, and just lights it up for a 5-game victory over a very good UCLA team. Pretty amazing transformation by Joby.
A team that was ranked number 5 at the time. This team right here, Pepperdine, ranked number 2. They bumped up a couple spots. And there's Joby with the nice dig. And they'll just be forced to knock it over. Little move at the net. Almost an overpass, and JP Marks with the solo block.
The ball was passed a little bit too close to the net for Matt West to get 2 hands on it, but he put up a nice little one-handed set that Maurice Torres, look, check out this one-handed set. Torres gets a good swing at it, but JP Marks right there to shut down that angle.
Even at 10-all, I was saying that Pepperdine bumped up from 4 to 2 after beating then number 2 ranked Stanford last week. Another near overpass, and that one off of the hands of Davis Holt, who's still waiting for his uniform to come in, by the way. He's supposed to be number 18. Somehow there was a mix-up early in the season. He's been wearing number 24, and fortunately, I guess they don't have names on the back of their jerseys, so at least that's a saving grace. And they go to number 24.
Well, 24 has been pretty good to him, wouldn't you say?
You know, at some point, here's a guy who really didn't play much last year. He comes in. Now he's starting. He's performing well. He's earned a starting position. Do you really want to go back to 18? He's got a new identity.
That's right. He's a happy camper playing Division I volleyball, I'll tell you that.
Another great serve by Marks and a beautiful pass by Taylor to get that one up, and that ball is skied out of there by Garrett.
Here's something historic just happened. Yeah. That's the first error since January 8th for Kyle Garrett. He's had 58 straight swings without an error. That's unbelievable.
And last year as a server?
He had 69 straight serves without an error.
That's ridiculous.
The guy's amazing.
Well, he misses there. Hawaii up 12-10. And again, it's Taylor who puts that ball up. And there's another bad swing. And Sador off the high hands. Powers it through the double block. Point Hawaii.
Hawaii's doing exactly what they need to do in regards to staying in this game. They've got to serve tough, and certainly JP Marks is right now.
And Marv Dunphy calls timeout. We'll take one, too. Back at the stand, Sheriff Center, Hawaii up by a couple, and let's talk about our keys to the match.
Pepperdine tends to win when Torres is consistent. He started out the year against Irvine, 10 kills, 10 errors, hit 0. Since then, the next 3 matches, hit over 350 in each of them. Pepperdine won all of them. And for Hawaii, have they finally found a lineup? They got Sador now playing on the right and JP Marks on the left. We shall see if this lineup change works.
Keys to the match brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. Marks again. He's been a good, solid server all season long. And Parker Kalmbach, the 6'7" junior out of Coto de Caza, California.
Great beach player as Parker Kalmbach played in the U.S. Under-19 World Championships. He's been converted from an outside to a middle, had back surgery last year, so they converted him to a middle this year.
Good serve by Torres, the overpass, and taking care of business is Kalmbach. Back-to-back kills for him, and the Waves out of the timeout. Pull off a couple straight. We're even at 13. 7 ties now in this first set. And Torres with the high toss. Going right at JP Marks. Good pass. Set. Cross court. Siki unable to put it down, and Ramos unable to come up with the dig. Point Pepperdine, and they pull off 3 in a row now out of the timeout.
Well-formed block there on the outside. Looks like it was West got all of that one.
Maurice Torres again. And again going right at JP Marks. Sarkovic goes cross court. Dug up, good play at the net by Garrett to keep that one alive. Center set, and able to put it down as Holt. Back to Holt, they go blocked a second time. And Marks just forced to two-handed over. Another opportunity, and the third time is the charm as Kalmbach puts it down, and first to 15, the Waves of Pepperdine. We take time out at 15-13.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Warner Cable, is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Kaiser Permanente.
All right, back at the stand, Sheriff. You talked about the keys to the game. You said consistency by Torres, the key to Pepperdine.
There you see Torres hitting the overpass. He's now got 5 kills. That one from the right side. 1 error. He's hitting 571. So he's having one of those big nights so far.
And back live out of the timeout. Sarkovic puts it down for the kill, ending a 4-0 run by the Waves of Pepperdine. So Hawaii within 1. It'll be 14 serving 15. And back to serve the sophomore out of New Zealand, Auckland, Johan Timmer. And Timmer been fighting to get himself back into some regular playing time. Good serve. And the back set off the block, and again it's Maurice Torres who hammers it down for kill number 6 here in the early going of this first set.
He averages about 4 kills a set already. He's above that, obviously, with 6 and really halfway through the first set.